Salute. Salute to God, the Most High, the creator of everything. Salute to all my day ones. Hey, I appreciate y'all, man, going crazy on that subscribe button, man. You know, I appreciate that. Hopefully we'll keep the flow going because I'm only going to give y'all that real over here. You know, trolls, only God and your mama can love you. And, you know, I got to hit y'all with that one time. You know what I mean? And we got to give the Most High 2 salutes. You know what I mean? 2 salutes. Now, this is a touchy subject. And social media and the era of the white supremacists and the white nationalists, well, they're challenging us to be a little bit more creative in our deliveries and a discussion of Charlie Jerk, okay? Charlie Jerk. So I ran across something on YouTube, and I want to give credit to Neferkari Dessalines. Y'all go subscribe. Anybody's content that I use here, anyone's name that I mention, trust me, go subscribe. Also, you want to go subscribe to Mr. Let Go, because, I mean, the coverage he's got on Charlie Jerk is just great coverage. You know, Charlie Jerk, ladies and gentlemen, freedom. Freedom. You see what I'm saying? We're going to code some things over here. So if y'all hear me say freedom, that's just like saying Charlie Jerk. All right? We ain't trying to get our channels taken down, but we're going to get our points across. Now, I heard on different instances that freedom was going to these college campuses, and, you know, he would up the ante on this whole 1350 myth. And, you know, the white supremacists and the white nationalists ran wild with it, y'all. Ran wild with it. Well, you know it wasn't going to be too long before the truth came out. And again, this is where we get the term white lies from. But I always want to make sure that my good white kings and queens, my good white brothers and sisters who walk arm in arm with our community, anybody, regardless of skin tone, always want to make sure y'all are exempt from this conversation. Always want to make sure that y'all are getting the proper love and the proper recognition and the proper gratitude and gratefulness over here for being who you are and standing with us in solidarity and diversity. All right? So salute to y'all, and this isn't about y'all, but feel free to ride out with us while we embarrass the white supremacists for embarrassing you as a fellow white person, okay? Real talk, real talk. Hey, we get embarrassed by black people in our community. We got buttholes and stuff over here. Every community has criminals, you know what I mean? So it's in every culture. It's in every culture, nothing personal. But let's get into it, y'all. Charlie Jerk well, we're not gonna get into this. I'm going to just show y'all if y'all can see that. Yeah, I'm going to just watch what I say, and I'm going to show y'all so y'all can find this and know what's going on. Here we go.
Yeah, we back. Now, today we have a very controversial video, but still very important nonetheless, right? Currently, right now on social media, Charlie Kirk is still the hot topic. And in fact, I just saw Jimmy Kimmel was actually fired. Yes, Jimmy Kimmel, late night talk show host, Jimmy Kimmel was pulled off the air due to a joke that he made about Charlie Kirk. Apparently, the order came directly from Donald Trump himself, and Jimmy Kimmel apparently has been pulled off the air. I might do a video on that maybe sometime, maybe tomorrow or something.
You know, I ain't gonna lie. I recently took down this Trump banner I had in here. I can't vote, but I did think he was the best candidate out of the two. And I used to think when people said Trump inspired racism, or I used to think just racists followed him because he always backed law enforcement, and most law enforcement officers, some, I'm not going to speak for all because there's some great ones, but a majority, the ones in our neighborhood, they're racist. You know, they're racist. So I thought maybe they just followed Trump because Trump always backed law enforcement. But I am beginning to think and see that Trump does inspire racism, okay? He does inspire racism, but let's go. I can't believe that, man, listen, Donald Trump looks just like Jimmy Kimmel. And Donald Trump didn't give a darn just now about Jimmy Kimmel's well-being. You know what I mean? He got this man removed. How many people said F Donald Trump and they still have jobs? You got people that said, you know, the whole little thing they were saying about George Floyd and everybody else, Breonna Taylor, they still have jobs. You know, they're talking ill about this brother Trey Reed right now that they just found in Delta State University. You know, I don't know what I can say on here, say off of here, but, you know, they found him in a tree. You know what I mean? And people still have jobs. These racist people who are talking against this young brother who just lost his life still have jobs. Donald Trump himself. See, they're breaking this up in conservative and liberal, Republican, Democrat, instead of looking at it the same way they look at it in our community. They call it black on black crime. They're not waiting to see who's liberal, who's moderate, who's Republican, who's Democrat, who's independent. No, it's black on black crime. And that birthed that myth that I brought up earlier about the 1350. And we're going to get somewhere. We're going to get somewhere. All right. So now we have a number. We have 2977. Let's ride.
Be on that maybe sometime, maybe tomorrow or something. But anyways, in today's video, I want to attack the idea, debunk the idea that Charlie Kirk spoke the truth. You know, I'm seeing a lot of people come to Charlie Kirk's defense, and a common thing you would hear is, you know, he just spoke the truth. Oh, you just mad at the truth. Oh, man, listen, he wasn't racist. He was speaking the truth, right? And, of course, I went on my community tab, and earlier today I said this. I'm hearing some people say that Charlie Kirk wasn't racist. He simply spoke the truth. But how come conservatives never speak the truth about their own people and their own demographics, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video, right? You notice, like, these guys always talking about, man, he just speaking the truth. Oh, I'm just speaking the truth. But for whatever reason, whenever you catch them so-called speaking truth, it's never directed at their own community, right? So today we're going to be talking about that, right? Now, anyway, I want to jump into a clip from Charlie Kirk, right? Where in one of the clips where they say, oh, he's speaking truth, right? So we're going to play the clip, and of course, we're going to debunk that truth. And then we're going to speak some truth about his community, right? Because I saw that when he was alive, he never wanted to talk about his own community, right? He wanted to talk about the black community and what the black man is doing in Jesus Christ and Christianity. But he never wanted to have the so-called tough conversations about his own community, specifically his own demographic, right? So that.
This is true. And he raises a good point. Y'all go subscribe to Nefikari Dessalini's on YouTube. You know, this brother, shout out to this brother for doing his research, man. Shout out to this brother for these great videos. Man, listen, salute to this brother, man. Y'all go subscribe, man. This brother is monetized. Make sure he get paid, man. This brother deserved that. But that is true. Freedom, Charlie Jerk, never spoke about the flaws of his very own community. And none of the white racists, none of the white supremacists, none of the white nationalists, none of these white Christian evangelicals often never do. That's why I always say they use us for their scapegoat to circumvent what's going on in their neighborhoods, what's going on in their culture, what's going on in their community, you know. And that's something that we all need to think about, y'all. That's why you can't throw stones in a glass house. We all have something in our communities that we can address and fix as a community that will, in turn, make the world a better place for us all. And that starts with fixing racism. And that starts with debunking all these white lies that Freedom, Charlie Jerk, you know what I'm saying, put out there. Here we go.
Right, so that's what we're going to be getting into on today's video. Play the clip. I'll be right back.
What percentage of America is black? 13%, right?
Yes.
What percentage of the murders in America are committed by black people?
I don't know the specific statistics.
Yes. It's
50%.
It's 60%.
60%.
So maybe when you do 60% of the killings and you're 13% of America, More cops should be around your neighborhoods.
Do you?
You look at cops as if they're there to catch you and get you. We look at cops as they're there to protect and serve and help us. So you have a population that dads are not around, that is very, very murderous, very violent, more likely to be involved in gangs. And we, as conservatives look at that and we say, wait a second, like the problem is within the community. The problem is not the government. The problem is not the culture. The problem is not the history. Instead, really what needs to happen is black leadership, black pastors, and black dads need to go into the black community and say, we're better than this. Cut the killing, cut the violence. Do you know the most, one more point.
Go ahead.
What gets me is, now you hear the applaud. And every community has something that they can fix. But you're talking to a young black student in a college who has to be somewhere between maybe 18, 20, 22 at the most. She's young, is my point. So she hasn't really experienced the world. And truthfully, this guy was only 31 years old. He hadn't really experienced the world either. But what gets me is, this is a all-white audience that's feeding this propaganda that he's perpetuating. They're throwing gas on a fire without doing the research, because you can dress it up and make it sound good. What freedom, what Charlie Jerk is doing right now is no different from what most pastors do on Sundays. They dress up a lie. They make it sound good. They make it sound believable. When you walk away saying, man, that was incredible, think about what you're really saying, because incredible means no credit, no merit. It's not believable. You're programmed and don't even realize it. Listen, man, we finna get back into this, man. Y'all go subscribe. This thing gonna get deep.
Outside of heart disease and all that, what is the #1 killer of black people in America?
I know about like diabetes, but
Fellow black people. A black person is far more likely to be killed by another black person than anything else. Black people are a greater threat to their own people than any other community.
All right, we back.
Wait a minute. Listen, we gonna get to it. Nefakari, I'm gonna let you cook. But I got to add my own 2 cents in here too. That's just like saying that we are the reason that we're only 13% of the population. So that erases, all the police misconduct, all the brutality, all the taking of lives, since we really can't say the other stuff anymore. That's not counting that. None of that counts. We're the reason that we're the minority. We're the reason that we're only 13%. So if you make it to old age as a black person, you should just be looked at as a survivor. You should be given a medal of honor because you survived being black to grow old and gray. Really? Being black is not a war zone. Being black is a gift. Being black is a gift. Being black is something magical. Being black is something, deserving, that only few people can wear in strength, can wear in pride, and can truthfully wear and not give up what anybody else has to say. Being black has been a gift to this world for thousands of years. Let's not forget who was here first. Let's not forget who was here first. Let's not forget who those aboriginals are. Let's not forget who those indigenous people were. Let's not forget, that the motherland gave birth to all. Let's not forget. Let's not forget. Let's get it. And y'all can go do this research. Go do this research. Go do it. Go do it. Here we go.
Back now, as you can see, as Charlie Kirk is so-called speaking his truth, he doesn't break the black community down into factions. Oh, he's a leftist. Oh, he was killed by a leftist. Oh, he was killed by a Democrat. No, as As you can see, we don't get the luxury of individuality. When it comes to us, we are simply a monolith. The black community, it's blacks doing it against blacks, right? So, and that's why when it comes to me, I simply put them all in the same category as well, right? He got killed by another white man. Whites killing whites. That's how I look at it. Now, what Charlie Kirk was doing is actually very common amongst conservative talking heads and propagandists. He was doing the 1350, right? Take a look up on the screen. What is the 1350 myth? The 1350 myth is the claim that black Americans make up 13% of the population and are responsible for 50% of the violent crimes. Now, when it came to Charlie Kirk, he actually boosted up the number to 60, right? He said it's 1360. But in another video, he said it was 1355, right?
It can record videos anytime, anywhere to capture your travel experiences. It can also take photos for you and automatically.
But in another video, he said it was 1355, right?
Black Americans are 13% of the population, yet they commit 55% of the murders. 60%.
60.
Now, as you can see, the number fluctuates, right? On Tuesday, it's 1360. On Thursday, it's 1350. On Saturday, it's 1355, right? So these guys, they just be freestyling with the propaganda. Now, of course, on previous videos, we already debunked that claim and threw it in the garbage, right? We already exposed the fact that black men, even though we make up a fraction of the population, we make up the vast majority of exonerations, right? We receive the most money in exoneration payouts by the government. Take a look up on the screen. Black men are significantly overrepresented among exonerees, representing a disproportionate number of people who are freed from wrongful convictions. Data from the National Registry of Exonerations shows that black Americans are 7 times more likely than white Americans to be falsely convicted of serious crimes. A primary factor in these wrongful convictions is misconduct by the police and the prosecutors, right? So the reason why the government has to shell out millions of dollars to black men is because the policemen and the judges and the prosecutors are engaged in corruption. So basically, they've been cooking up the numbers. And guys like Charlie Kirk go around the world, go around the country, regurgitating false propaganda, wrongful arrests, and...
What now, racists? What now, white supremacists? What now, nationalists? What now, white Christian evangelical? What now? Oh, the truth is coming out. The truth is coming out, and this brother is just now beginning to cook. Y'all, he's warming up the pots. He's warming up the pots. And we gonna let him warm up the pots. Let's go.
wrongful convictions. But anyway, that's a topic for a different day. The topic of today, we're not gonna talk about the black community today. We're gonna talk about their community. We're gonna talk about the other community due to the fact that they love giving their thoughts and opinions on the black community. Oh, what the black man is doing, what the black community is doing, right? So today we're gonna turn the tables, right? We're gonna talk about the things that Charlie Kirk was too scared to talk about, the topics that he wouldn't dare talk about. We're gonna talk about them today. Now, when you look up on the screen, you see I have a number on the screen, right? Similar to the 1350. I came with the 2977, right? So I've been looking around social media, right? And I've been seeing some big accounts, right, on Twitter, on X, and I've been seeing them today, you know, bringing out the 2977, right? The past couple of days, I've been seeing people talking about the 2977, right? So listen, just like they ran off with the 1350, we're going to run off with the 2977. Now, before I get started...
All right. Racist, white supremacists, racist, white nationalists, y'all racist trolls, y'all racist white evangelicals, you know, black folks, good white folks. I need everybody to remember 2977. 2977. Let's roll.
My presentation, I'm going to play a clip from Tim Tebow, former NFL player Tim Tebow, actually having some tough conversations actually in regards to the 2977 topic, right? Tim Tebow, right? I got to give a salute, right? It's the first time on my channel. I'm going to give a salute to a white man on my channel. Salute Tim Tebow for having the conversations that Charlie Kirk was too scared to have. The conversations Charlie Kirk wouldn't dare ever have, right? So I'm going to play a clip from Tim Tebow, and we're going to come back and break it down. We're going to talk about the 2977 the same way Charlie Kirk was talking about the 1350. Let's go, run the clip. I'll be right back.
The number 1 offender type is biological fathers, but by far it is being done by middle-aged Caucasian men. It is being done by middle-aged Caucasian men. Many, over half of them, college graduates. Many of them are educated, good jobs. This isn't just who we're thinking about. Like, they're you know, technical savvy, and I think that it is time that we call him out. Like, that we can't stand by and stand back. Like, we have to stand up and say, not only are we not doing our job as men, it's actually the opposite. Instead of being defenders and protectors of our families, we're hurting and abusing. This is over the last 30 days, and every red dot on that map is at least one unique IP address of individuals downloading, sharing, distributing child abuse and rape images under the age of 12. And there's over 111,000 of them just in the US of the last 30 days. And I wanted to bring that because I think it brings to life so much of the evil that we're trying to face. And people will say, well, that's just over there and it's in those countries and it's all of those places. And it's not. Sean, it's right here in our backyard. It is right here. And out of everyone, and some people will say, okay, well they're just downloading and sharing it and distributing it, but they're not. 55 to 85% are also hands-on offenders, and your average offender has 13 victims in their lifetime. 13 victims.
Why ain't y'all talking about this, racist? Why ain't y'all talking about this, white supremacists, white nationalists, white evangelicals? Why y'all ain't talking about this? Why y'all all up in our community? Why y'all trying to stir our Kool-Aid if we got to put sugar in yours? You know what I'm saying? Why? Why? Why are we more important than what y'all are doing right now? And again, salute to the real good white folks. That's why we say good white folks, good white brothers. You know what I'm saying? Good white sisters. You know what I'm saying? The good diverse people. This is Tim Tebow saying this, y'all. Tim Tebow don't look like me. And he ain't saying it about me. That's why he get the respect that he gets. Y'all should have did that man like that in the NFL either, because that man was a raw talent, man. That man was a raw talent. That left was dangerous, man. That left on Tim Tebow. Throw that thing. I don't care. Nobody say. You know what I'm saying? Tim Tebow over there running up. Let's get back on topic. But anyways, y'all dead wrong, man. But y'all quick to say that this man was speaking truth. No, he wasn't. He was avoiding the truth. He was avoiding the truth. You know, y'all had to put the raisins in y'all potato salad. You should have just dressed your potato salad. You know what I'm saying? Left the raisins out of it. That's what y'all was doing. But let's get back to it. Cook!
Every one of those red dots is there's a boy or girl that is suffering on the other end of what they're sharing, downloading, or distributing.
Now, first thing first, round of applause, standing ovation for Tim Tebow for having the tough conversations. I've never seen a European American get on camera and call out his own people in that fashion. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. Now, when it comes to us, you know, black men, we always have the tough conversations amongst each other, right? We're always having the conversations on where we could do better, where we could improve, where we coming up short. And of course, everybody is there to remind us. Every other demographic is there to let us know where the black man is coming up short, where the black man needs to improve. So when it comes to us, we always have these tough conversations. But when it comes to them, they never have these tough conversations. Charlie Kirk never had these tough conversations. He went country to country, not country to country, state to state. Charlie Kirk never had these tough conversations. He went country to country, not country to country, state to state, university to university. Show me the clip where he was talking about this topic right here. Mr. Christianity, Mr. Man of God, right? Show me the clip where Charlie Kirk was calling out his own people. Because when it came to the black man, he was bold, he was fearless. Or the black man, 1360, 1350, 1355, 1380, right? But when it comes to his own people, never opened his mouth, right? So I got to give a salute to Tim Tebow. Number one, I've never seen a man of European ancestry stand on business and call out his own people. Not only his own people, his own demographic, right? Called out his own demographic. I've never seen it. Show me the conservative commentator, the conservative personality having these tough conversations. You can't find it, but I guarantee they have an endless library of conversations about the black community. A bunch of bozos. Stay in your own community. Stay in your own lane. Mind your own business. Now, in the video, Tim Tebow, he was talking about child pornography. Now, in this video, just to be on the safe side, I'm not going to say that word. I'm just going to say inappropriate videos of children. right? So inappropriate videos of children. That's what he was talking about. And Tim Tebow, for those of y'all that don't know, he actually has an organization, maybe a nonprofit, where he actually directs resources towards helping out children who are victims in these cases. So this is something that is close to Tebow's heart. Maybe he knows somebody personally who's been affected, who's been a victim. Maybe he's been a victim. Maybe somebody in his family's been a victim or been a perpetrator. But obviously, as you can see, this is something that is close to his heart, and he actually has a foundation combating this and putting resources to eradicate it. So once again, salute Tim Tebow, calling out your own community and putting resources towards helping out the victims of those who are victimized by those in your community. So once again, salute to you, big dog.
And this is important. Just think about this. If they actually address the truth within their own community, think about how many more innocent young children you can save. Think about it. Think about how many children never would have to experience that drama, that turmoil. Think about it. If they actually address the truth. If he was actually brave enough to address the truth, not within our community, but within his very own. Within his very own. But this is common, y'all. This is common, y'all. Don't forget, they beat their women. You know, they don't forget they love touching on younger, they hands-on with children of a young age. Can I say that? They're known for this type of stuff. They're known for this. And I'm talking solely about the white supremacists, the white nationalists. This is not for my good white brothers and sisters, not for the good white folk. All right? But we going to get to the truth of this thing, and this is going to be a little lengthy video, y'all. I'm going to try to fit a majority of this stuff in because it's very important. Let's cook. Y'all go subscribe to Neferkari Dessalini's on YouTube, man. And while you at it, go subscribe to Mr. Let Go. You know what I mean? Like, there's people doing work, man.
That video, he goes even deeper. He talks about the specific demographic who is the most likely to be involved in, watching and producing inappropriate videos of children. He mentions the middle-aged European American male, the Caucasian man, right? Who has an education, right? Who has multiple degrees, those who have money. Many of them have good jobs, high-ranking positions, and they're involved in all type of nefarious activity behind the scenes. And one thing I love that Tebow said, he said, it is time that we call them out. Tebow said, it's time that we call them out. Tebow said, listen, I'm calling y'all out, my own people. I'm calling you out. And Tim Tebow said, if we do not call them out, then we are not doing our job as men. So, like I said, guys like Charlie Kirk, guys like Benny Johnson, guys like Matt Walsh that want to sit around talking about the black man all day, but they don't want to talk about the dirty laundry on their front door. You're not doing your job as a man, right? You're not doing your job as a man. You focus on the big black boogeyman, and the number one predator in their own community is the man in the mirror. Now, anyways, today we're going to dive into the United States Sentencing Commission, right? Now, before I get started, I just want to give a disclaimer. Everything that I'm about to break down comes directly from government sources like the U.S. Sentencing Commission, FBI reports, things like that. I'm not here to push any propaganda. I'm not here to slander anybody or spread misinformation like certain individuals, right? I'm just responding to the same conversations that people throw in my community with actual facts and data, right? It's simply about holding the same mirror up to everybody else. That's all we doing. It's only fair, right? If Charlie Kirk had the liberty to go state to state, college to college, university to university, and give his 2 cents on the black community, it's only right that I can also speak my mind on his demographic also. Now, take a look up on the screen. 93.5% of individuals sentenced for sexual abuse were men. 55.1% were white. 15.2% were Hispanic. 13.9% were black. 13% were Native American. And 2.8% were other races. 67% of individuals in cases involving the production of child pornography were whites. 55.6% of individuals in cases involving travel for prohibited sexual contact were whites. Now, when they say production of inappropriate videos involving children, they're talking about that despite making up only 29% of the American population, those who are arrested for producing the videos, right? Because keep in mind, the government breaks it down into different categories. You have those who produce the content, who are actually filming and distributing the content. And you have those who are trafficking the content, you know, spreading it across and selling it. And then you have those who are receiving the content. So that's all different. So they say that despite making up only 29% of the population, European American males, white males, are 67% of those who are producing the content, right? So they're the main producers, they're the main videographers, the editors, they're the ones with the, they're the ones, conducting the whole production, right?
Man, and y'all pay those barking all in people comment box, man. Y'all really trying to push a race war and you can't even keep your hands off of children, man. You won't even tell the truth about your own community, man. When y'all gonna learn to be honest, man? When y'all gonna learn to stop lying? When y'all gonna stop using everybody else for their scapegoat? When are you actually gonna sweep around your own damn front door? Y'all all in people comment boxes. Y'all getting people videos taken down. You're getting people terminated from their jobs. Huh? Tell the truth. Tell the truth. What's so hard about telling the truth? Nothing within your history has ever it's never gave evidence to you guys telling the truth. Telling the truth. And not all of white folks. I'm not talking about the white folks. I'm talking about the white people. The white racists, y'all. This ain't about the good white folks. That's why I always say white folks, white people. If you hear me say white folks, I'm talking about our brothers and sisters, the good ones. You know what I'm saying? The good, solid, foundational part of white America who don't see color. You hear me say white people? Well, we're talking about your freedom. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about Charlie Jerk and the crew. All right, let's go. Let's get back into this, y'all. I tell you, it's going to be a little lengthy video. I'm going to try to pack as much as I can in this, but man, it just gets me excited that the truth is actually being told now. Let's see how many comment boxes y'all jump in now, because you can't refute this. You can't refute this.
They're the ones, conducting the whole production, right? 29% of the population, and there are 67% of the producers, right? Wow. Now, let's continue. Now, here's where they break it down into different categories. 47.3% of individuals who were sentenced for inappropriate videos of children were sentenced for trafficking the videos, right? So 47.3% were arrested for trafficking and distributing the content, right? And 43.9% were arrested for possessing the inappropriate videos, right? And 8.8% were arrested for receiving the videos. And then they go on to break it down by gender and, racial background. So 98.8% of those were men. 77.1% of those were whites, men of European descent, European American males, right? 12.8% were Hispanic, and 5.8% were black. So that means that even though they only make about 29% of the American population, they are 55% of those who are sex crime offenders. They are 67% of those who are producing inappropriate videos of children to distribute across the country. And there are 77% of those who are sentenced for inappropriate videos of children. And of course, like I said, these are the conversations that Charlie Kirk wouldn't dare ever have. And that's why I said on my community tab, these guys talking about, oh man, Charlie Kirk, he just spoke the truth. He wasn't racist, he just spoke the truth. So I gotta ask the question, how come he never spoke the truth about his own people? How come he never spoke the truth about his own community? How come he never spoke the truth about his own demographic? So, listen, if you're not telling the truth in totality, then brother, you're just a propagandist. That's all it is, bro. You're a propagandist.
Well, they are known for whitewashing. They are known for changing the narrative. They are known for wanting to be in control and controlling everything. But I mean, we're seeing this right here firsthand. We hear it. You can't refute this. This can be found. In fact, it has been found. It has been found. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I'll drop the link to this video in the description box. So, you know, before you jump in my comment box with the hoorah, 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 and all the threats, you know what I'm saying? Listen, we ain't worried about that, man. We ain't worried about that. Keep it on the internet. You can see CK real soon yourself. Real talk. Real talk. We are not our ancestors. And the good white folk ain't those white people. So who you think they're gonna side with? They're gonna side with us, man. You know what I'm saying? They gonna side with us. You got good white folk in the world who ain't going for that racist crap, man. They ain't going for that. So we are not your only enemy. You have diverse enemies within your own community that's gonna help stomp you out. Let's start a new trend. Since all these races are identifying themselves, how about we start calling their jobs and getting them fired? You know, they're gonna speak up with all these freedom commercials going on, these freedom videos. I didn't mean to say commercials. These freedom videos, it sounded like a commercial though. Freedom, it did, you know. But with all these freedom videos going around and all this content on Charlie Jerk, you know, I mean, they're gonna show themselves. So let's start calling their jobs and getting them, you know, terminated. And no, you haven't cost me a job. No, you have not. You know, see, I do my own little private thing. I'm in the entrepreneurial field. You know what I'm saying? I know how to detail them cars. You know what I mean? I know how to make them shirts. I know how to rent out that bounce house. I know how to do window decals. Yeah, it's just too much I know how to do for me not to make $1. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you can't hurt me. You can't hurt me. And to be honest, I'm not even monetized on YouTube. So again, you can't hurt me. So y'all heard it here. Go subscribe to Nefakari Desalini's off of YouTube. Go subscribe to Mr. Let Go. Definitely subscribe here. And to all you racist, white nationalists, white supremacists, white evangelicals, you know what I'm saying? In the words of Martin Lawrence, run tell that, man. Y'all know what to do. Get your one-on-one. Get your one-on-one. Get your one-on-one with your higher power. You know what I'm saying? Stay prayed up, stay blessed up, stay meditated up, stay protected, stay real, stay conscious, stay uncut, be inspired, be great, be you. Now can Ashe. Ashe, ladies and gentlemen. Salute.